Hey guys, welcome back to Movies with Michael. Today I'm going to be doing a special Quick Thoughts video for you because 20 years ago today, on December 10th, 2001, the Fellowship of the Ring premiered in London. And back to back, the years after it, 2002, 2003, we got Part 2 and Part 3 of the Lord of the Rings Motion Picture Trilogy. Now, it is my opinion that the Lord of the Rings trilogy is the best set of movies we have ever gotten from cinema. And that means that I could go on and on and on talking about how much I love these movies. But that would take too long, and I don't want to go on for hours. Maybe eventually I'll get to where I'll be able to sit down and do long videos on each of these movies, but we're not going to do that right now. I'm going to try and summarize what I think about each movie as quick as I can for you guys, to keep it more convenient for you all, and to keep it to where I don't have to sit here for hours on end, filming myself talking to you. So, let's start with the first film, The Fellowship of the Ring. Now, the way the characters are done in this film is that we start with a certain number of characters, and that cast of characters slowly builds as the film goes on. We still have our main characters. So the movie focuses on the main characters, but also focuses on the side characters, just enough to where you are getting to know them, but doesn't make them so important that you think the main characters are being sidelined. They're in there just enough for you to get to know them, and for you to sort of develop a relationship with them, but you're not that sure. But each of these characters is acted to perfection. I'd say my main character in this film is Gandalf the Grey, played by Ian McKellen. I think Ian McKellen does do the best acting in this film out of all the characters. All the characters are acted very, very well. But I think he has the most scenes that he really gets to show who his character is and his acting with that character. My favorite scene from this film is probably the most iconic scene from this movie, and that is the scene where the Fellowship is escaping from Moria. They're heading to the Bridge of Khazad-dûm, and Durin's-Bane, one of the Balrogs of Morgoth, comes and he has to fight with Gandalf. Now, of course, we don't see the end of this fight until the beginning of the Two Towers, but this scene, the way it's shot, although it's not exactly accurate to the book, it still works so well, and whenever I see it, whenever I hear the music, it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome. Speaking of the music in this film is really, really good. I'd say maybe of all the films, this movie has the best music in that it sets up the music. So this trilogy, it's one of those trilogies where it takes a lot of the music that was started in the first film and reshapes it and does variations of it for the second and third films. So that creates a set of consistency within them and doesn't try and make you think it's a completely different story, because it's not a completely different story. It's still the same story being continued just across 3 films. Now, the second film, The Two Towers, is where the action really picks up. The movie doesn't set up a lot, it just drops you right into it, and one set of characters is chasing another set of characters that is being captured, and another set of characters is very far away from that group, and they're trying to accomplish the main goal of the quest. My favorite character in this film is probably Aragorn. I like Aragorn in the third film, but Aragorn really, in this film, he steps up to being the leader, to getting the job done. In the first film, he does do that somewhat, but he's still kind of back in the background. He's still I'm Strider, I'm not really the king, I'm not really supposed to be the leader, I don't want to be the leader. But this film is really where he steps up. We see him leading the group of the 3 hunters, talking sense into the King of Rohan, and leading a whole legion of elves at the Battle of Helm's Deep. Speaking of Helm's Deep, that is my favorite scene of this movie. The Battle of Helm's Deep might be the best castle siege I have ever seen in any movie ever. Whenever I watch it, I'm still impressed of how well it was done. And the music in this film is good as well. The music is not slow. There's not a lot of slow music. It's more of, it's quicker, but it's not so fast to where it's cheesy. Because if it was fast enough, I think that it would be kind of laughable, but it's not. So that makes it really good. And now we get to The Return of the King, which is one of the biggest movies of all time. Even from the previous two films, the camera shots are larger to show these huge mountain ranges, landscapes, and armies of either humans, orcs, you name it. There's a lot more creatures in this film, and the action is amped up to its max. There's action scene after action scene, but there's also very good talking scenes. And the movie is done in such a way to where you are not thinking, oh, can we get back to the action when the talking scenes are happening? And you are also not thinking, oh, okay, we've been here for 30 minutes, can we actually stop the fighting when the action scenes are going on? So that's really, really good, and I really love how they did that. My favorite character in this film is probably Samwise Gamgee. Sean Astin acted his heart out in this film, and I think he won an Oscar for it. If he didn't, then that was a big cheat, because he was insane in this movie. Of course, there are a lot of scenes where he gets to show his acting potential inside the film, but the movie is a triumph. It wraps up all that it started in the first film and the second film, and it is an excellent conclusion to the movies, and after it's done, you're not wanting more. You've already been given what you wanted. You're satisfied. You're not thinking, oh, if we could have had this, oh, that should have happened. You're not thinking that. You're not wanting a fourth one. You're completely fine with the third. And that shows you how good it is. I hate to cut this short, guys, because man, there's so much I could talk about these films, but we don't have enough time today. So, guys, if you liked this video, leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and keep around, because this weekend I'm going to publish my thoughts and conclusions on the Garfield era of the Spider-Man films, because No Way Home is just around the corner. Thanks a lot for watching, everybody. I'll see you all next time.